from Nebraska's trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News at 10.
First tonight, breaking news, a deadly shooting at a fast food restaurant in Idaho.
What's happening? What's happening?
What happened?
What's happening?
Shoot. Go. Just go. Go.
Officials say at least 3 people are dead after a gunman opened fire in Twin Falls this afternoon. They say it began inside a nearby In-N-Out hamburger restaurant. At least 2 other people were injured. Officials say the shooter is deceased and all shelter-in-place orders have been lifted. One witness who refused to be identified now describing what she saw and heard in the area at the time of the shooting.
We did see some commotion, but there's employees everywhere. But we did see a couple kids running, and then all of a sudden we saw all the employees and people crying, running towards the ICCU bank.
Identities of those killed have not been released at this time. Police say right now there is no threat to the community. Now to new developments as many in Nebraska mourn the loss of an icon.
To Kent, viewers were more than viewers. He wanted to meet them. He wanted to visit with them. He wanted to eat with them. He was like the TV station's built-in ambassador, wearing his suit and tie to go to Hy-Vee for milk.
Many viewers all over Nebraska once welcomed him into their homes and relied on his forecast to be prepared for severe weather events. And today, they had the chance to say goodbye. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Meg West. Today, people from all across the state paying their final farewell to Kent Boughton. A celebration of life for the beloved meteorologist taking place in Grand Island this morning. These behind me, you can see him on his wedding day. Just some highlights that were shown of his life shared with those in attendance.
Receive him into the arms of your mercy, into the blessed rest of everlasting peace, and into the glorious company of the saints in light.
Family, friends, former colleagues, and community members filling up the St. Paul's Lutheran Church to honor his memory and bid him farewell. An emotional service giving those in attendance the chance to remember Kent. Many also taking to the stage to share fond memories of Boughton and how he touched so many lives.
Kent left a lasting legacy. He always showed up when needed. And again, the weatherman with the golden voice. We were blessed to have him enter our homes. And for so many people watch the news for the news and sports. Come on, guys, raise your hands. But when Ken Boughton was on, you watched the weather as well.
Ken passed away last Sunday following a battle with stage 4 cancer. And the weather here in Lincoln showed out for travelers to Kent's funeral in Grand Island. It was certainly a beautiful day, a bright, warm, sunny day with blue skies. And now as we take a live look outside through our tower cam here now at 10:03, it looks to be a quiet, still, nice evening. Citizen journalist Kevin sharing this stunning view from outside the Nebraska State Capitol today. You can see just how bright and sunny it was out there today. Not a cloud in the sky. This video shared through our Now local news app. And now let's get a look at your first forecast. Meteorologist Dominic Ferraro standing by.
Hey, good evening, Meg. I'll kind of quickly echo what I mentioned earlier in the early newscast tonight. Our thoughts go out to the Boughton family as Kent was one of our own here, served as the weekend meteorologist at KOKN for a short period of time there. So our thoughts are with Kent, and he was truly such a genuine and a great guy, not only a loss to the weather community, but also to us here across the entire state of Nebraska. As we take a look then at those temperatures from today, and as I also mentioned earlier, I feel like Kent had to have had a hand in the forecast, especially in eastern Nebraska today. It was gorgeous out there. Low to mid 80s for those high temperatures. We got up to 84 in Lincoln, 85 in Grand Island, 85 as well in Beatrice. As you head out towards the west, though, the upper 80s to low to mid 90s kind of started to creep on in there. 99 as well for a high temperature today. today in Chadron. Quick look outside here in southeast Nebraska on your Shones roofing camera in Beatrice. Shows once again a quiet evening out there as temperatures right now sit in the upper 60s to lower 70s in the eastern half of the state. As we take a quick look here on a satellite and a radar, that's likely not cloud cover that we're seeing pop up here. That's probably some sort of birds or bugs showing up on radar. I promise we're not looking at a rain chance. As we head then into the day on Sunday, still looking at mostly sunny skies for us here in southeast Nebraska, as temperatures climbing then to the mid to upper 80s with a light breeze out of the east and southeast between 5 and 10 miles per hour. And if you are enjoying the sun tomorrow, be aware UV index is up to a 10, so that's a burn time in as little as 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm all for everyone going outside and enjoying some summertime weather. Just make sure we're putting the sunscreen on. Don't want to see anyone rolling into the office on Monday morning looking at the same color as a lobster. More details on that forecast and when we could see some rain chances heading our way coming up in a few minutes.
The war in Iran is pushing up gas prices for drivers all over the country, including here at home. If you're hitting the road out of Lincoln this weekend, you may be spending a little more at the pump. We're talking around $3.88 a gallon. That's what citizen journalist Brian is showing us here in this video that he caught at the Quick Shop. This is the Quick Shop station near South 48th in Calvert Streets this afternoon.
Used my gas buddy and got 27 cents off a gallon.
Our now local news app user Dennis telling us he does all he can to find the cheapest gas stations in town and save some bucks. And this is one of the cheapest places he found. That's the Casey's around West Cornhusker. Gas there sitting at around $3.89 a gallon. And in the latest in the war, sources say President Trump is weighing another round of intense strikes on Iranian energy targets. A source tells ABC News the proposed strikes have been discussed with Israeli officials, but it's not clear if Israel will be involved in the operation. These potential attacks come as U.S. embassies in the Middle East are issuing warnings to Americans in the region. Here's ABC's Matt Rivers with those details.
According to two U.S. officials familiar with the matter, President Trump is weighing a round of intense strikes on energy targets in Iran. U.S. Central Command says planning for the potential attacks is well underway, but those plans could still change. Iran has already threatened to retaliate against strikes on its energy sites by hitting Israeli targets and U.S. energy infrastructure in the Middle East, according to Iranian state media. A spokesman for Kuwait's Ministry of Defense says its air defenses intercepted Iranian drones inside Kuwaiti airspace earlier today. Meanwhile, the U.S. has been pressing for the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. A British maritime safety agency is reporting 2 incidents took place Saturday in the critical waterway. President Trump has said that while he's not ruling out a deal to end the war, he says talks have not gone well.
I'm losing faith in them because they do lie and they do misrepresent.
Amid escalating tensions, at least 10 American embassies across the Middle East issuing alerts, saying Americans in the region should exercise extreme caution and should consider departing. Here at home, investigators are looking at whether Iran or any of its proxies are responsible for cyber attacks on water systems across Minnesota.
Iran does have the capability to go in and wreak havoc, to go in and change the settings on the water. Every industry, every business relies on water. And so if you just impact that one little thing, it will cause a ripple effect.
According to sources, Georgia and Michigan are reporting similar cyber attacks on some of their water systems. And just last week, a number of federal agencies, including the FBI and NSA, warned of ongoing Iranian-affiliated cyber targeting of internet-connected operational technology. Matt Rivers, ABC News in Amman, Jordan.
Now to new details in the search for Nancy Guthrie 6 months after her disappearance. The sheriff in Pima County releasing for the first time 2 ransom notes in their entirety that were received in early February. In the first note that police say was received on February 2nd, the Guthrie family is told, quote, "We have your mother Nancy. She is safe but scared. She will be held for ransom, and once payment is received, she will be released unharmed." It goes on to ask for $4 million in Bitcoin for her release. Then police say the second note arrived on February 6th, saying, quote, "We did not fully grasp the seriousness of her physical condition. We never intended to hurt her. That was not our intention. She perished shortly after she was taken." This week, the Pima County's sheriff told ABC News he still believes the case is solvable.
how come I'm so confident that we're going to solve this? Well, my confidence stems from the fact that we have some of the brightest minds in the nation, if not the world, working on this.
The sheriff also saying that a key piece of evidence, a hair found at the crime scene, has turned out to be a dead end and did not lead investigators to a suspect. New tonight, a man is behind bars in Douglas County after a severe case of DUI. Before taking the driver to jail, deputies first towing his vehicle. You can see his car here loaded up onto the tow truck. They say he was driving with a blood alcohol level far above the legal limit, and someone could have really gotten hurt. Authorities say this man was the driver. They say deputies observed Miguel Bautista Ramos struggling to stay in his lane while driving. And when they stopped him and searched his car, they found an empty 24-pack of Corona bottles sitting on his center console. They performed a breathalyzer test on him, and it came back at 0.174%. Now that's more than 2 times the legal limit of 0.08%. Authorities say Bautista Ramos also did not have a valid driver's license. Developing now, nearly 70 people have died after tens of thousands of migrants rushed into the Spanish territory of Ceuta in northern Africa. The surge coming from nearby Morocco, forcing Spain to send in military support. Most of the migrants are now back in Morocco. ABC's Marcus Moore has the story.
The pictures of this crisis are truly extraordinary. Some 50,000 people rushing the border into the Spanish territory of Ceuta, and many of the people swimming 3 miles from Morocco and northern Africa to reach the enclave. Images show people emerging from the water in water suits, some of them, others on boats, and some climbing through holes in the fencing and then sprinting into the streets of the city. Officials said that at least 67 people died in the incident, which prompted Spanish authorities to deploy the military. And for some perspective here, within just a couple of days, tens of thousands of people crossed the border into a town of 80,000 residents. And all of those stores were closed for a time in the city and residents staying home. But today, officials have said that some of the streets are getting back to normal. And many of the people who made the dangerous journey are seeking a better life, looking for jobs and a future in Europe. President Trump called it an invasion, saying the same thing will happen in the U.S. if Republicans don't get elected. And this is happening after Spain's Supreme Court ruled that those who reach the area by sea cannot be immediately returned without due process. And Spain's prime minister said human traffickers were, quote, spreading self-interested interpretation of that ruling and causing an avalanche of people to cross the border. Spain's Interior Ministry says that of the 50,000 who crossed the border, some 48,000 have already gone back, some voluntarily returning after finding dire conditions there in Ceuta. And Spain's Civil Guard and Navy have also said they will now begin installing a 1,600-foot floating barrier to strengthen the border.
Well, don't go anywhere. We have a fresh batch of stories for you tonight, including a rare ranking. Find out where Nebraska stands on a list comparing different aspects of life in all 50 states and why they say we're top in the charts.
And a sunny close to the weekend as summertime temperatures continue in southeast Nebraska. We look to stay dry then for the start of the work week, though chances for storms not that far off. More details on that forecast coming up after the break.
New tonight, a major crash causing traffic disruptions on I-80. The Seward County Sheriff's Office sharing this photo earlier today, saying the portion of the highway around the 366 exit near Utica was closed for some time due to an accident in York County. We don't have all the details about the crash just yet, but we do know that it has since been cleared and traffic is clear back to normal. And we're getting a new look at the iconic downtown building struck by a car overnight on Friday. A vehicle slamming into the Lincoln Station building on 7th and P Streets following a chase involving NSP. The area sealed with yellow tape yesterday morning. Today, citizen journalist Kevin showing us this view from the inside. Right now, the Good Life state is scoring high on a major ranking. U.S. News coming out with a new survey comparing all 50 states to try and figure out the best states to live. They took several sectors into consideration, and Nebraska scoring pretty high on most of them. Let's take a closer look at those findings. Beginning with crime, we rank 19th in that category. When it comes to our economy, we're 15th best nationwide, and 3rd when it comes to infrastructure. In education, we're sitting on the 11th spot, but in healthcare, all right, we're on the lower end. We're right there at 34. Now, when they add everything up, put everything together, we came out on top as the 5th best state in the country to live. The Nebraska Farm Bureau responding to that report today. The Bureau in their statement saying it's thanks to our farmers, ranchers, and rural communities that we were highlighted in such a positive light on the national level. They say our state's dedication to agriculture continues to strengthen Nebraska.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro.
Well, heading then into the start of the end of the weekend as we get things started here for your Sunday. Nice sunny day ahead here in eastern Nebraska. As we head though into the start of the work week, we will see the return to the 90s, and I'm not talking about grunge fashion and boy bands. We are talking about the 90s and air temperatures coming up here for the start of the week. And as we head then towards the middle of the week, we do see that weather pattern become a little more active then, and we'll see the chances for showers and storms. Hopefully should also bring a good amount of rain then to some parts of the state too. And we just wrapped up the month of July here. It's August 1st, already here. It kind of snuck up on us here pretty quickly. In terms of your stats from the month, though, very interesting month. 101, your highest temperature that we saw. It's also our highest temperature of the calendar year. Happened twice, and we tied that record, or excuse me, that low for the month at 63. 5 separate times, 3 of which were right in a row. And it was a good month for rainfall in Lincoln too. One day saw over 1 3/4 inches of rain there at the Lincoln Airport. And for the month, we were just under 7 inches of precipitation, which will go down then as our 10th wettest July on record. And also close to double what we usually see in a typical July. So we got some good rainfall, and we certainly could have used it in southeast Nebraska. I know there's several parts of the state that would have been happy for some of that rain too. And hopefully after the week here, we get a little more of that headed out their way. Now, as we take a look outside, clear skies on your Barry Law camera, temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s. A few spots, though, on the warmer side out towards the west. Still 85 in Shatter, and it's 70 in Lincoln as well as Beatrice, including the Omaha area. Everyone's at 70 degrees right now. I'm kind of noticing a little bit of a pattern there. As we take a look at radar, as we mentioned, we don't think this is rain. This is probably some form of birds, bugs, some sort of particulate in the atmosphere that this radar is picking up on. I don't think we're really looking at much of a rain chance. In fact, there's not really a cloud in the sky as we take a look at your satellite. Going forward, mostly clear skies through the remainder of your Saturday evening. We are monitoring the potential then for some patchy areas of fog to start things out on Sunday morning. Should burn off though quickly after sunrise, leaving us then with mostly sunny skies for the remainder of the day. We'll see a few passing clouds out then towards the west for the start of the day on Monday. Still looking at mostly sunny conditions in eastern Nebraska, though partly to mostly cloudy skies for the west, and that's where we start to then introduce that chance for showers and thunderstorms as we head into your Monday evening and early Tuesday night, or excuse me, early Tuesday morning. Now, starting out first there towards central Nebraska, these will then move their way here into the northeastern portions of the state and ultimately into southeast Nebraska as we head maybe a little closer to that morning commute. This model a little lighter on those chances, though we'll see a few more rounds then as we head through the middle of the week. That should give us another shot at rainfall. In terms of precipitation, or not precipitation, severe weather potential there. I got rain on the brain, I guess. But in terms of your severe weather threat, we do have that marginal level 1 out of 5 risk in place from north central Nebraska down then towards Interstate 80 in portions of western Nebraska. We could see an isolated severe storm or two out that way. For your high temperatures tomorrow, the upper 80s then here in eastern Nebraska, though gets a little bit more on the toasty side as you head out towards the west, the mid to upper 90s and a few spots there in the triple digits. They do have a heat advisory then in place for western Nebraska. It's where we could see those feels like temperatures up to 110 degrees and favorable conditions for the spread of wildfires. Those higher temperatures and higher wind speeds will allow any fires that do start tomorrow to be quickly spreading and hard to contain, so that's why we have that red flag warning in place too. Very dry out there. In terms of our week ahead, we are looking at the upper 80s to low 90s then for the start of the week, back to the mid 80s with those storm chances and closer to those seasonal temperatures as we round out next week.
All right, thanks, Dom. Well, coming up, we're going to enter the sports zone with our own Nick Erickson. He's going to talk American Legion baseball and some updates with the incoming MLB trade deadline. More on that when we come back.
Now, from the Channel 8 Sports Zone, powered by Green's Furnace and Plumbing, here's Channel 8 News Sports. The Channel 8 News Sports Zone.
Well, hey, welcome back into the Sports Zone, everybody. I'm Nick Erickson. I hope you got to take advantage of the beautiful weather that we had today. Maybe you got to go out to the ballpark today just like I did. American Legion Baseball continuing here into August as the Class A Championship Series took place here in Lincoln Saturday afternoon. This was game 2 of the 3-game series. The Carpetland Rugs dueling it out against the 5 Points Banks Junior Blue Jays. That's a mouthful. The Rugs just one win from being Class A champions. Carpetland, who owns a record of 45-5 over the course of the summer, took game one last night by a score of 9-4. Today, the Rugs continued to tack on runs against 5 points, scoring 7 through the first 5 frames, including a solo home run from Brody McKintry to kick things off. On the other side of the diamond, not much offense early on from the Junior Blue Jays, but they got things going in the 5th, courtesy of a double and a fielder's choice. Despite the comeback effort, First Bank fell short, and the Carpetland Rugs are your Class A champions. 7-2 the final score, and the Rugs will now advance to the Central Plains Regional. Class C also held a state tournament game Saturday afternoon in Pender, Nebraska. Equity Bank Post 55 taking on Chick-fil-A. Not the establishment, of course, but the area team. At Dave Nishk Field, a really great game it was until it was suddenly delayed. We're currently tied up, knotted 6-6. But we'll continue to monitor that as we head over here. Over the course of the past couple days, we've been monitoring the progression on whether or not the Protect College Sports Act will be passed on to the president's desk. Late last night, both the SEC and Big Ten joined the Big 12 and ACC conferences in supporting the bill. Following the news of their support, Yahoo Sports reported that Senator Eric Schmidt talked about a possible vote happening late next week on the Senate floor. He said, quote, "We have to stay to get it done if that means Friday through Saturday." So he expects anywhere from 60 to 80 votes for the bill, and continuous steps, of course, being taken by lawmakers and NCAA conferences to getting this bill passed. And taking a look at some professional baseball here this evening, the Royals in the Mile High tonight, continuing their road series with Colorado. Luinder Avila getting the nod to start. He goes 2 2/3 innings, allowing 6 runs. A really tough start there for the right-hander as the Royals fall 12-6 moments ago. They will play again tomorrow at 2:10. The Salt Dogs in Winnipeg tonight, unfortunately, couldn't get anything done either as they fall 9-3 to the Gold Eyes. Cal Chapman was charged with the loss, surrendering 4 runs, 2 earned on 8 hits through 6 frames. Lincoln will finish its road series with the Gold Eyes tomorrow at 1 p.m. For Major League Baseball teams, this time of year kind of marks the make or break point of the season on whether or not a team will make a playoff spot. The MLB trade deadline is Monday, August 3rd at 6 p.m. Big names such as Tariq Skubal, Freddie Peralta, Mason Miller, and Clay Holmes are all still available. But earlier today, teams started to make more moves ahead of Monday's expiration date. Just an hour or so ago, the Royals traded away outfielder Lane Thomas and pitcher Bailey Falter to Atlanta, and the White Sox getting involved, trading for Seattle starting pitcher Luis Castillo. That could be a really big move for them as they continue to try and bolster the rotation before Monday. A lot of players still available, so keep a lookout as more details are expected within the next 2 days. A lot of great baseball news today. Thanks again for tuning in. And Meg, we will go ahead and send things back to you.
All right, thanks so much. And thank you for joining us this evening. We'll meet you right back here tomorrow.